Hey there, guys. Welcome back to Garage Football. We've just watched West Ham play Man City at the Etihad Stadium. We finished Man City 2, West Ham 1. But I think that tells the whole story, does it, Charles? Those who are watching, please subscribe to us. Leave your thoughts in the live chat, or if you're watching later, leave your thoughts in the comments below. So, Charles, as I say, finished 2-1 to Man City. It's their 20th win in a row in all competitions. Absolutely amazing record. But that wasn't the whole story, was it?
Not at all, Bill. I mean, it was a really refreshing performance to see. I mean, you go into these games against City in the past, and you're expecting to get absolutely trashed, but that was not the case at all. If anything, last 10 minutes, City were playing it in the corner and doing all these little tactics to try and waste time to end the game because they were so scared that we were going to come back and equalise. So
yeah, bringing on Rodri as well.
Yeah, I know exactly. 2 pivot men. It's just like unheard of for someone like City. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the interviews or anything, but a lot of people on Twitter have said that Pep and John Stones were very complimentary of us, and rightly so. I thought we played brilliantly today, all things considered, and it is a weird feeling kind of coming on and praising a loss, but I mean that's just how good we were today.
Yeah, exactly. It was a testament, to our sort of performance levels and fitness levels that we were right into it, like into the match to start with, and we carried on for the full 90 minutes. Whereas, if you're playing Man City, it's all well and good doing it for 45 minutes or an hour, but they'll just blow you away in the last half hour. But they didn't do so, and if it weren't for, Diop right at the end could have got an equaliser for us. We'll come on to that. And if we got a point, that wouldn't have flattered us whatsoever.
No, not at all. I mean, it was just it was disappointing. It was a disappointing loss in the sense that we probably should have got more from that game. I mean, I think the second goal will obviously come onto it, but maybe we could have done better defending it. But I mean, to basically play that game in the intensity that we did and creating as many chances as we did, I think we can hold our heads up really high.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a big ask for any side to play Man City at the moment. But we're fourth before we started the game, and we're full of confidence. And I think that showed, as you said, with the chance we created, and the fact that they did have obviously a lot of possession, which was to be expected with the high quality players and Pep Guardiola's philosophy and so on. But at no real stage I feel they really sort of blew us away, or they really this is backs against the wall. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they still play with the kind of intense, drive that they always have, and with the technical ability that they always have. But in terms of I think it's testament to really how well we defended, because whenever they got into our box, I mean, they took off Sergio Aguero, at the start of pretty much like 10 or 20 minutes into the second half.
On the hour.
Which is, a pretty amazing achievement if your defence is got rid of Sergio Aguero in that short amount of time. But yeah, I mean, just really, really positive defensively. And on the counter attack, I mean, if we were gonna get goals against City in this game, it was always gonna have to be quick, fast, sharp, and perfect. And I think when we talk about the goal, we can talk about just how well we did in the build up to that, and then obviously, getting it just before half time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, the first that first sort of 10-15 minutes, I mean, as we've said, City had a lot of the ball, but weren't really penetrating. But when we did have the ball, it was those that quick transition, which you got to do against Man City. They don't press as high and as quickly as they did when they won the league twice with Guardiola, especially the 17-18 season where they got 100 points. So it feels weird playing Man City now, where you have more of the ball against them, but you've got to make the most of it. And I felt we definitely did so, even before City took the lead. I mean, the first real chance of the whole game, really, I think it was like 12 minutes in. Kevin De Bruyne, he ran into the box, played in Torres, but that was well blocked by Rice and Soucek. So when they did eventually get into our final third, we held pretty firmly. And then the first real encouragement from West Ham was about 5 minutes or so later. Again, we kept the ball well, beat the beat the Man City press, and it was I think it was a deflected. I think it was a shot by Lingard. I don't think that was a cross. A deflected effort. Found Souček, who I think did the right thing trying to find Antonio, but maybe the ball was a little bit too high. But actually, I'll give credit to Ederson. Goalkeepers against attackers, they sometimes go down and try and win fouls or whatever. But you won the ball, and it was a 50-50 challenge, which is actually good to see. So it was good play by us, but Ederson obviously shows what a quality keeper he is.
Yeah, I think that kind of those sort of 10 minutes of passage of play were pretty emblematic of the whole game, really. City came at us, and then we came right back at them, and it was a kind of like a boxing match. And I think I think City obviously just had one blow too many for us today, but it just really, I mean, that effort, especially, like you say, I think Souček does well in seeing Antonio in the box, direct.
Good awareness,
Good awareness. Like you say, just a bit too high. And to be fair to Edson, he had a really decent game today in terms of how he dealt with all the things that he dealt with. But and then Lingard just tried a shot on goal, got blocked. But I think it was definitely telling of how the game was going to be played out. That City were going to come at us with everythting they've got, but you can't rest on a team like us who can just strike at any time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's all well and good. A lot of teams will play the counter attack against Man City, but I think we did it so well. Maybe not as well as when Leicester beat them 5-2 early in the season, but obviously Man City were different defensively. Then we gave Diaz and Stones more of a challenge than they've had quite a lot in the last 20 games, especially. And that was really encouraging to see. We obviously come on to the other chances, but that particular one was really encouraging. But it was Man City in the end home side. They took the lead on the half-hour mark. Diaz with his first Premier League goal headed it past Randolph in place of the injured Fabianski today. Obviously another assist for Kevin De Bruyne. Can't speak highly of the man, can you? I think it's in the top 10. I think I heard that on BTO, the top 10 Premier League assists now. He's in that category, which is absolutely unreal. But left foot crossed by him, and it was a good header by Diaz. But as much as it was a good City play and a good goal for them, would you question our defence or Randolph the goalkeeper in that situation, or was that too harsh?
I think on the watch along, I think Corey was maybe a little bit more critical of the defence in that situation than I was. I mean, if you look at it, I don't know who makes the run, but there's three City players that are lined up behind Diop and Dawson.
I think they weren't. Sorry to cut across, mate, but I think they weren't sure who to mark, Diop and Dawson.
Well, that's that
probably didn't help.
It was great. Perfectly set up by City, creating that diversion. I think one of the men run towards the front post, sort of like what Fornals did last week against Tottenham. Yeah. And then obviously the other two kind of got into their sort of positions. Soufal was a bit distracted by Torres. Diaz with a powerful header. I thought it was a really good goal. We probably could have had more bodies back there helping out, but in terms of defence, I wouldn't say it was a horrible mistake or anything. It was just City had done really well in their positioning, and obviously when you have a superb cross with the ball like De Bruyne, and then someone as dangerous as Diaz heading it in, then there's not a lot you can really do about it.
Yeah, I think it's probably just if we've been like hypercritical, as you said, I think it was a big error or a mistake. I think it's just one of those. If you got to applaud the quality of the cross, as you say, and it was considering he hasn't scored for City, he stayed up there. I think City had a couple of waves of corners. That's when they started to really put the pressure on us, and they just kept going and going. And then he stayed up there, Diaz, and a decent header. But you just think from there, City going to dominate, and I think they did dominate the ball a bit more, and they got the ball in the final third on a more consistent basis. But again, there wasn't a stage where I think, we're struggling here. Like, this is. You're going to have that against any top six side, especially the quality of Man City, where you're going to have to hold on for a good amount of time and just let's just bury the trench. Let's just stay in the trenches. Let's just bury the hatchets, and we stay in the game for 5-10 minutes, and then we'll try and be more progressive up the pitch. And we certainly did that because I think it was about 10 minutes or so after City scored, we hit the post. Now, whether it would have, if it went in, it might not been given. I'm not sure if Lingard was offside or not, but even so, again, it was another really good move. Great build-up play. I mean, Lingard, he fired it across the box. Fornals missed it, not for the first time. He's not known for his shooting, is he, Fornals? Antonio, he did well to, manufacture the shot. He hit it into the ground and it just hit the outside of the post. But before that, way before, they started with a brilliant ball by Craig Dawson. Outstanding ball out wide to Soufal, sorry, and then it played in Lingard, and as I say, led to the effort by Antonio. But again, that just showed that we had the personality and more importantly, the quality to actually create chances against this City side.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because, like you said, I think teams have a tendency, especially against a sort of titan like City, as soon as they concede, just kind of roll over and just let them score and score and score, and
make it easy for them.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think the first 2 minutes after they scored, I was like, this looks like it could be that same pattern. But
yeah, definitely,
I was honestly surprised, and like you say, that chance was kind of the catalyst of our last 10 minutes before half time. We went for it. We actually had a go, caught them out of position, caught them, caught their defence sleeping a little bit. And then, like you say, Antonio does well to kind of, he's got a bit of an awkward stance for the shot, bounce it onto the post. And I think then I was kind of thinking, if we can hold out till half time with just a 1-0 deficit, I think we can be in a really good position for the second half and hopefully press on, try and nick an equaliser. But obviously, we did it a lot sooner than I expected.
Yeah. Well, I think we all would have settled for 1-0 at half time, but in the end, we had to settle for 1-1. Oh no! But I think that goal was coming, and we eventually did score. And so another goal. What we did really well was the counter attacks from when City were in our own third, but where those short counter attacks as well, where we won it on the halfway line, which was good to see. And we did that again for the equaliser. Won it on the halfway line. I mean, Fornals played in Soufal, one of his many marauding runs down the wing. Lingard, he shot, or Soufal found Lingard. Sorry, it looked like his shot was going wide, but Antonio showing his his instincts and taps it in. So I thought, as I say, even before we got the equaliser, I think we deserved it based on the way we played in that first period and the chances we were creating. Honestly,
I mean, I celebrated pretty damn hard for that goal that Antonio scored, more than I cared to admit, because it was just great to see that we've done this time and time again this season, Bill. We've just we've gone down, but we've gotten right back up again, and that's all down to the mentality shift that we've had over the last season or so.
It's like that song by Chumbawamba.
But I mean, it's just great that we've been able to go down to such an awesome force such a City and say, we're not out of this, boys. We're not out. We can just go ahead and go back up the pitch and pull one back, and that's exactly what we did. And the build-up play for it was just brilliant. Really nicely worked, and then good ball in, and Lingard does really well to sort of catch Antonio at the back post, and he sticks it in. Does what he does best, and I was definitely very happy heading into that second half with a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I think we definitely deserve to go in at least level based on that first half. We gave City more than a run for their money, and if anything, probably created even slightly better chances, I'd say. I don't know. I haven't seen the XG and all that kind of stuff, but I imagine it was slightly higher us than City. But
it was. I think it finished at the end of the game. I think it finished like City 0.8 and us just over 2. So that says everything you need.
Really. Yeah, definitely. So yes, 1-1 at half time. But I think City they might have, even that first half, you could point it down to obviously you played Mönchengladbach midweek. It's normal for many of the top sides to play in Europe, and then they struggle, especially if it's an early kickoff like it was today. But I think they hit their stride in the second half, didn't they? Kevin De Bruyne, that man again, he went close, not with an effort, but I think he took on Diop, I think it was down the left, from when we had the ball in their third. Great cross, but Aguero ran past it and there was no one following up.
Yep.
And then from there, they made a couple of subs. I mean, this is obviously a testament to the ridiculous quality they've got in their squad. Aguero was quiet, but he went off. Jesus come on, and then Torres. 5 minutes later, he went off, and Phil Foden, who scored against us in the previous game at the London Stadium, he come on as well. And not long after that, they get the winner. What turned out to be the winner, John Stones. It's weird for two centre backs of all the attacking players of City. I said two centre backs who score, but he took it like Aguero in his prime. Lovely finish. Mahrez did well to find him.
Honestly, people who've had, I mean, my dad's had John Stones in his FPL lineup, and he's been absolutely over the moon with the points he's racked up, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, it's John Stones is an unreal player, and this season has been really his season to shine at City, and defensively speaking, but also as a force up front as well, and force going forward. But yeah, I mean, I would say we started that second half, pretty okay, nothing too much going on, but we kept it solid. And then there was that spell, that sort of 15-20 minute spell where City would just kind of kept on coming at us. And I was a little bit critical of Pablo Fornals. I feel like he could have been a bit more aware and picked up on Stones, but again, it's just things in hindsight that you can't do anything about. But I mean, Stones, I think you always know that City have those kind of players such as Stones or Gundogan who can, sort of back up those more attacking minded players who get in the box, back them up and pick up whatever's left over. And that's exactly, everyone was marked out in the box and Stones was there on the edge just asking for it, and he done a great job of finishing it. Yeah, real Aguero-like strike from him, and he ended up getting the BT Sport Man of the match. And
no, not surprised.
Yeah,
not surprised. Yeah, but it's good. But obviously, he's a Man City player, but for England, see John Stones hitting top form, and for me, he's England's, based on form, he's got to be the starting centre back at the Euros, and it's whoever plays alongside him. He's been immense, and it's been a good story with Stones. Obviously, he's been quiet last couple of seasons, but he's turned around his fortunes, and he's a starter for Man City, and as I say, should be a starter for England.
Yeah, without doubt, he's going to be one of the first teams on the team sheet, I think, from a defensive point of view.
Oh, without doubt, yeah.
I mean, I think another one that should be, without doubt, one of the best young English talents in quite a long time, Phil Foden, should definitely be in that team as well.
Yeah, easily.
We'll see what capacity, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the summer.
Yeah, definitely. But again, just like when they scored their first goal, City, we didn't give up. And we made a couple of attacking subs. Bowen and Benrahma come on. Unfortunately, Antonio, he ran himself. Well, good thing he ran himself into the ground, but unfortunately, he had to come off. Didn't he?
No injuries. That's all we can hope for.
Yeah, and then Johnson, who come off as well, who had. I think I've been impressed with Johnson since he's played. Since he came to the side against City a couple of years ago, wasn't it? But when he has played for us, but I think. I mean, a bit harsh on Johnson, but I think he had a difficult afternoon, I'd say. But you're playing against Riyad Mahrez, one of the best right wingers in the past 5 years. And, I think it was just one of those days, I'd say, for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very much a young football. If you watched his performance, it was definitely sort of young footballer with maybe a bit of nerves or something. He just wasn't that confident the first half. Misplaced quite a few balls, but I thought he had a better second half. To be fair, he did well and stepped in quite a few balls. But yeah, it's just I mean I'm a big fan of Ben Johnson. I think he can really go far if we give him the chance to. It was just maybe not his best game, but I'd love to still see him in the first team lineup in the future for sure.
Oh, definitely. I think you can see from the performances, you can tell he was ahead of Ngakia in the stakes for fullback positions. If it weren't for injuries, he would have played a lot more for us.
Yeah, and the fact that he's playing on in a position that he's not really used to.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good point.
He's playing against one of the top sides in the world, so he's not done bad for himself.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of left backs. He's not even a left back, Johnson, but players who've played at left back would struggle against Riyad Mahrez. I think he obviously set up the goal today, and as I said, Mahrez is one of the best right wingers in the past 5 years. Obviously, led Leicester to win the league in 2016, and since he's joined City, he's been a part of their title winning side. So, no begrudging Johnson today. But as I said, we kept going. And before I get into that Diop chance, Charles, obviously I mentioned those subs, Bowen and Benrahma coming on, but they only had 7 minutes of normal time, then plus the 4 minutes of injury time. Would you have been tempted to bring them on a little bit earlier?
Yeah, I would have. A very minor slight on Moyes in today's game. I thought he managed the game pretty well overall, but yeah, I think that we could have definitely have done with the subs maybe 5 or even 10 minutes earlier. I think Antonio looked absolutely, as you say, he looked like he'd run down to the ground before the subs came on. So
yeah, exactly.
Much point in keeping him on when he's basically just running on fumes. But yeah, I mean, those subs, and it turned out that those subs actually, came on and gave us a little bit of spark as well. So if we had that bit earlier, who knows what could have happened? But again, it's just hindsight, and hopefully Moyes can realise that bringing on subs earlier might actually change the game.
Yeah, exactly. So we're coming to that chance. It was in the last 30 seconds, wasn't it? So deep cross by Lingard, and then Diop at the back post. I think he was caught in two minds. I think it was said on commentary where he was in two minds whether to aim for the far post, like the far corner, in terms of getting it on target, or trying to find Souček, who was making one of his famous runs from deep. So, and in the end, it sort of fell harmlessly wide. But that was the one chance we were looking for. But as I said, to go right to the end and possibly go within, what was it, a yard wide of, go within a yard of equalising against, getting a point against Man City. I think we all would have settled for that before the game, definitely. Yeah,
without a doubt. And actually, I do want to praise Diop, because I thought him and the back three were really solid for most of the game today.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And yeah, obviously, we know that his composure maybe not the best at times, and it certainly showed in that last chance. But I think you're completely right. I don't think he made his mind up when the ball hit his head whether he was going to head it across goal or head it on. So he sort of did both, but it didn't work in the end. So, but yeah, I mean, it was obviously gutting. But like you say, just the progress that we've made, that we can take City to the final seconds of the game with a chance to still get something out of that game. I think it's just a credit to where we are right now and how much improvement we've made. And yeah, I think, there's so many positives we can take away from that game for these last sort of, what is it, like 12 games of the season.
Yeah. And we've said, obviously, going to the end against this Man City side, who are, well, they should win the league from here, and they possibly, obviously, they're in the hunt for a quadruple. So, and we're going against one of the best managers, Pep Guardiola, we've ever seen. So I think it's a testament to obviously Moyes and the players today, how much they ran City close. So in terms of who stood out for you, I think for me, Soufal had another excellent game. I mentioned his marauding run for the equaliser, but his defending, he kept Torres very quiet, hence why he got subbed off. And in an attacking sense, obviously Antonio with a goal and his his excellent runs and pressing from the front as usual. But I thought Lingard had another excellent game for the same reason, and his quality on the ball was there to see again. But yeah, again, it's hard to fault any of them. But who stood out for you?
Really is. I mean, you pretty much mentioned all the players that really deserve credit. I think another two players, again, who've gone under the radar, Bryce and Dawson. I think, Bryce did so well in midfield. I mean, the composure he has on the ball now is just so exciting to see. He makes these runs that, you expect someone like KDB or Phil Foden to make, but he's got this confidence in him to just take the ball, turn someone out, and just go forward. And I just love seeing him, build his confidence week in, week out. And then obviously Dawson. I was saying to Corey on the watch along, I've honestly, apart from the first 10 minutes against Southampton, I've honestly not seen him have a bad performance at the West Ham shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just been brilliant, and yeah, like you say, I mean, it's a weird feeling that in a game that you lose, you kind of can't choose who played the best, because everyone did. I'd probably say Soufal. I'd agree with you. I think Soufal was immense in not only pocketing Torres in the first half, but then keeping Foden quiet once he came on. So I think he had another great game, and he looked gutted at the end that we didn't get the point. But just another great performance, all-round performance, and a lot of positives to take over the break, and then look forward to getting on with the Leeds game and seeing if we can push even higher up and potentially get that Champions League spot. Who knows?
Cool, yeah. Won't get tired of hearing those words, mate. But yeah, you made a good point, Ben, about Rice. Obviously, he was excellent again as always. But I think that was a testament to how well he played. Where Gundogan, who's I mentioned in the fans' voice on the West Ham way the other day, where he's right up for me in terms of being the player of the year for this season, and he barely had an impact whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, there's actually, I mean, that's going to be an interesting vote at the end of the season as well. Who gets a Hammer of the Year? I mean, there's so many names to choose from. One of the big names, obviously, is Ogbono, who's not even playing right now. But yeah, I mean, just so many to choose from, and it's just like I said, just credit to Moyes and his team for picking up the pieces of last season and building something from it. And as West Ham fans, we know it's not been an easy ride over the last year or so, but we're seeing some real great progress here. And if we just, if our owners just for one season can give us a bit of backing in that summer, who knows? We might be going to the City game as favourites.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Very nice, very nice. I don't think we're quite there yet, but
no, give it a couple of years, mate. Yeah, when Guardiola leaves eventually,
when he joins us,
yeah, God, I wish. But yeah, as you say, mate, I think we despite the defeat, I thought application and the hard working style and everything really that you'd expect from West Ham side, we've showed it again in abundance, and this gives us great confidence going into. We've got Leeds at home, Man United away, Arsenal at home, Wolves, who are not as high flying as they have been the last couple of seasons. So we can take this application and obviously more important thing, the quality. If we can take that into those next few games, then I don't see why we can't stay where we are, or at least still be challenging for the European spots.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if we don't make them, I'd be obviously disappointed. But I mean, we've this season, I think after that Newcastle game, we thought we were going down.
Yeah, keep going back to it, but it's so true.
It is true. It is true. I mean, I just remember feeling just completely the opposite to how I feel now after that game. I was just like, no hope, no nothing. But if you'd have told me that Craig Dawson would be leading us to Champions League glory, I think you'd be lying to me. And yeah, I mean, again, I'm enjoying the ride. And the great thing is that City's going to be the hardest game on that fixture list every single time.
Oh, especially away. Even before Guardiola joined, and even before it was just called the City Manchester Stadium, our record there has been awful. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So the fact that we've come that close today just proves that we can take on anyone, and we're not scared of anyone. And if we can go in with that mentality for the rest of the season, then who knows what can happen?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Well, let's hope also this level performance continues and just keep going with the results. Apart from today, but let's get more of the 3 pointers to start with Leeds next time. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining us, mate. That was quite a positive reaction considering it was a defeat. Yeah, I'll go wrong with that. All right, thanks for joining us, mate. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you're new to Garage Football, please subscribe to us. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Check out our other content. Follow us on the socials, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.